Welcome to the news on Zodiac. I am Chancellor Zabanda. First, the headlines. Chilima Sugar Company sued off after Indian expatriate diagnosed with COVID-19 dies. President Chakwera expected to open the 2021-2022 budget meeting of Parliament next week. Malawi realizes approximately 11 billion kwacha from 9 million kilograms of tobacco sold. And in sports, Nyasa Big Bullets Football Club appoints former Farm General Secretary as club's new Chief Executive Officer. We now give you the news in detail. Operations at Chilima Sugar Company have been suspended for 14 days, with the whole place sealed off by security personnel after a COVID-19 positive Indian expatriate with underlying illnesses died at the place this morning. The expatriate was among a group of at least 40 other expatriates who arrived in the country a couple of weeks ago with COVID-19 negative certificates and were in isolation. More in this report.
An Indian national who recently arrived into the country and was at Chilima Sugar Company is suspected to have succumbed to COVID-19. He was among 16 Indian nationals who were diagnosed with the disease in Chilima last week. According to Chilima Sugar Company Secretary, Dr. Charles Tubi, he was pronounced dead upon arrival at Kamuzu Central Hospital on Monday. Meanwhile, according to Chilima District Health Office spokesperson Angela Nyongani-Sakwata, they are conducting mass testing to workers at the factory as directed by the Minister of Health, Kumbizeka Ndodo Chiponda, on her visit to the factory last week. Of about 32 Indian nationals who just recently came into the country from India, 16 tested positive for COVID-19. Meanwhile, there are reports that the company has temporarily closed. Reporting for Zodiac from Chilima, I am Joseph Mazizi.
President Lazarus Chakwera is on Wednesday, 12 May, expected to open the 2021-2022 budget meeting of Parliament. This will be the third meeting in the 49th session of the Malawi Parliament and shall close on July 2. But what is the expectation of society in the new budget, and how are people looking at the performance of the last budget? Here is John Paul Kayun with the details.
President Lazarus Chakwera expected to open the 2021-2022 budget meeting, where lawmakers will up to 2 July deliberate and come up with a law on how government should use funds in the 2021-2022 financial year. Different stakeholders have now spoken on what their expectations are. The quasi-religious body Public Affairs Committee PAC says it expects the budget to be pro-poor. PAC spokesperson Bishop Guilford Matonga told us government should formulate a budget that will help citizens recover from COVID-19 induced economic hardships. Matonga also tipped government to devise ways to monitor how budgets are performing, saying previous budgets have not made their targets. On his part, economic expert Dr. Bechani Cheleni has challenged government to put an investment budget as opposed to a consumptive one in line with the Vision 2063 development blueprint. In the 2020-2021 budget, government put a largely consumptive budget of 2.3 trillion Malai kwacha with 500 billion Malai kwacha for development. For Zodiac, this is John Paul Kayuni.
Zodiac has grabbed 3 of the topmost accolades at this year's Misa Malawi Awards presentation for exceptional practice of the journalism profession in the country. For the 14th time, judges found Zodiac Radio to be the best electronic media house and Zodiac online news platform on the land. And Maria Kizanjankoma was posthumously named the Lifetime Achiever this year. Daniel Mibawa is controller of news and current affairs and speaks on behalf of the Zodiac team.
First of all, let me dedicate these awards to our followers in Malawi and those beyond our borders. These are their awards. We would not have been here without their following, without their support. People, I like to say this most times, people that advertise with Zodiac, people that love Zodiac because it has a following. And therefore, this award is theirs. Secondly, my reaction is that of excitement. Particularly, the radio one is obvious. We have done this, we've been there before. But the one you mentioned about the best online media house in the country, there was some work there. People may not understand it, but there is a lot of work that goes behind the scenes. We have COVID-19 and a very difficult economic environment. There is so much work that goes in there. What this means to us as Zodiac is that it is a sign we must work even more. They've given us a lot of work, an added responsibility. We have to invest in sustaining our performance. We have to invest in sustaining our creativity. We have to invest in sustaining the morale in our people that work for Zodiac. I can promise without any shade of doubt that we will do better. We will strive to do better. There are things and feedback that we get from our followers about things we need to improve. Like I said, that is the work we should be focusing on. But we can promise we'll sustain the creativity. We can promise we'll give them unbiased news. Most of these people are looking for news, and we will remain what we are. And let me mention this. This is a sticky area that we would not like to discuss, but people have been asking, because we have the owner of Zodiac, or the managing director, is now a government minister. And therefore Zodiac is compromised. They are making a mistake. Zodiac remains Zodiac. We remain professional, we remain independent, and this is what I can promise people will see in the coming years.
Meanwhile, a consortium of editors in Africa have called for an end to increased attacks on journalists in African countries for exposing wrongdoings in the handling of COVID-19 funds and supplies. Two groupings, namely Southern African Editors Forum and the African Editors Forum, in separate statements have expressed concern the tendency derails progress towards attainment of media freedom. The two media bodies cite arrests and harassment that are also being experienced in Malawi as some obstacles. Chumwe reports.
Voices of a group of journalists as they marched in the streets of Blantyre commemorating World Press Freedom Day. In some of these songs are frustrations and anger. The media practitioners are complaining over continued attacks by those who are supposed to protect them. But this is not only happening in Malawi. Journalists from a number of countries in Southern Africa continue to suffer under repressive governments. These attacks are exacerbating in many countries now that media practitioners are exposing wrongdoings in the handling of COVID-19 funds and supplies. And this has angered two lead forums of editors in Africa, Southern African Editors Forum and the African Editors Forum. Chairperson for the groupings, William Ponda and Jovio Rantaro, are now calling on African governments to take action that would end the continued attacks. The African Editors Forum alone has since launched a digital platform together with other partners, including UNESCO, that aims at going a long way towards protecting African journalists. This year alone, journalists in Malawi have either been harassed or detained. This has also angered Mr. Malawi chairperson Teresa Ndanga, who on Monday called for government's swift action to perpetrators of such attacks.
If you just look at the past 12 months, or from January 2020, 20 journalists have been threatened, attacked physically, and sometimes detained by the police.
For Zodiac, this is Chimwemwe Padata.
The Ministry of Health has extended with 4 weeks rollout of administration for AstraZeneca vaccine second dose in the country. Principal Secretary in the Ministry of Health, Dr. Charles Mansambo, told Zodiac the second doses will now be administered from 3rd June, an upward push from the initial arrangement of end this month. Meanwhile, health rights activist George Jobe has cautioned government to tread carefully and ensure that vaccine for the second dose arrives on time to avoid causing panic. We have this report.
The extension follows a recommendation by scientists. The second doses can be administered after 12 weeks. A health commentator, George Jobe, has advised government to administer the vaccine within the required time frame, citing concerns failure to do so would risk lives of those who took the first jabs.
The change must be substantiated with facts and the justification. Social accountability, what we always require is the that proactive provision of information.
Principal Secretary in the Ministry of Health, Dr. Charles Mwamsambo, told us administration of the second doses will roll out on 3rd June, an extension from the initial announcement to administer the second doses end this month. Dr. Mwamsambo says the country will by the end of this month receive 900,000 doses of AstraZeneca through the COVAX facility.
Science has shown that the performance of the vaccine is better when it's given after 12 weeks. So we've also changed our policy here to give the next dose, the second dose, after 12 weeks. For Malawi, we'll be starting on the 3rd of June.
Malawi plans to administer the AstraZeneca vaccine to 11 million people by end this year, but close to 16,000 doses of the vaccine now await approval of the Public Procurement and Disposal of Assets to be destroyed after the 16,000 doses passed their lifespan. For Zodiac, this is Chimwemwe Padata.
You're watching the news on Zodiac. We'll be back after this short break. Stick around.
Ashley Furniture Home Store. This is home. Blockbuster Megastore brings you America's finest. Ashley Furniture Home Store, Malawi. Ashley Furniture Home Store is located in Jinri Corner, opposite Makra House at the new building. Our Ashley Furniture Home Store comes in 5 different styles to suit every personality. Either young or old, we've got you covered. Come and experience our showroom and discover the lifestyle that suits your personality. We have Ashley's signature collections on dining table, sofa sets, and bedroom. Come in store and see it for yourself. Our trading hours are Mondays through Fridays, 8:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. Saturdays, 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Sundays are closed. Visit our home store today. Ashley Furniture Home Store. This is home.
What do you do when your rights as a consumer are violated?
Call CFTC.
Who do you tell when there are anti-competitive business practices?
You tell CFTC.
What do you do when you notice deceptive business conduct or excessive pricing?
Oh, that's easy. Call CFTC.
The Competition and Fair Trading Commission, CFTC, minimizes malpractices that disadvantage both the consumer and traders. Call.
Do you know, here at Lilongwe Water Board, we have in place a 24-hour call center just for you, our customers. Anytime you experience a water problem, don't hesitate to call us on 253 and it's free. Low water pressure, no water situation, billing queries, bill payment, pipe burst, pipe leaks, faults, tips, and illegal connections. Just dial 253 and we will assist you.
Building a successful business is not an easy task. It takes a lot of focus, hard work, persistence, determination, and sacrifices. With the passage of time, business growth is achieved to the amazement of the investor. After witnessing such growth, a strategic business person secures the business from risks that have the ability to ruin the investment. That is where the Prime Insurance Company comes in with a business insurance policy that targets small and medium enterprises. If you own a fuel service station, restaurant, lodge, clinic, farm, photography studio, retail or wholesale shop, you have an important partner in us. Without waiting for fate to strike on your investment, reach out to us at our offices in all the major cities of the country and get your business covered at affordable rates. Prime Insurance Company. We care and share in times of need.
Special scholarships available at UNICAF University for bachelor, master's and doctoral degree programs. UNICAF University is accredited nationally by the NCHE and internationally by the British Accreditation Council in the UK. Enroll for internationally recognized degrees at a fraction of the cost, with the special scholarships available for the April-June 2021 intake. Feel safe knowing that your online studies with UNICAF University will not be disrupted by measures for the pandemic. From enrollment to graduation, everything runs smoothly online. Don't miss this golden opportunity. This offer is only valid until the end of June 2021. So apply today and get a free tablet when you register and pay the required deposit. Ring 01755 333 or WhatsApp 0993 907002 for more information.
Welcome back. The headlines as we continue. Chilima Sugar Company sued off after Indian expatriate diagnosed with COVID-19 dies. President Chakwera expected to open the 2021-2022 budget meeting of Parliament next week. Malawi realizes approximately 11 billion kwacha from 9 million kilograms of tobacco sold. In sports, Nyasa Big Bullets Football Club appoints former Farm General Secretary as club's new Chief Executive Officer. Now, moving on with the news. 2 weeks into the start of this year's market season, Malawi has realized 15 million United States dollars, approximately 11 billion kwacha from 9 million kilograms of tobacco sold through the designated 3 of 4 tobacco markets across the country. Tobacco Commission Chief Executive Officer Dr. Joseph Chidanti Malunga says the sales have improved compared to similar period last year, when only 9 million United States dollars was realized from 6 million kilograms sold. Andrew Viano has filed this report.
Revenue from tobacco hit 15 million US dollars, which is approximately 11 billion kwacha at the end of week 2 of sales, after trading about 9 million kilograms, according to figures from Tobacco Commission TC. During the same period last year, Malawi sold about 6 million kilograms of all types of tobacco, realizing 9 million US dollars, approximately 7 billion kwacha. TC Chief Executive Officer Dr. Joseph Chidanti Malunga says despite high rejection rate at the markets, tobacco sales are promising to be better this year.
Out of the 3 markets that we have as of 2 weeks, we have sold nearly 9 million kilograms of tobacco, realizing over 15 million US dollars at an average price of $1.68. At the beginning of the market season, most farmers want to keep their best crop. We encourage them to do their best in as far as the grading is concerned.
Economic expert Mibawa Tobias says while prices have improved this year, Malawi should find replacement for the green gold, which is losing economic grip.
The start is good, also taking into account that usually the first tobacco is that from the bottom. And I think as the market season proceeds, then we have the middle, which is usually the best. This is a crop whose future is quite bleak, but we don't have to lose hope.
In 2020, the country sold 113 million kilograms of all types of tobacco, raking in 174 million US dollars, approximately 135 billion kwacha. 120 million kilograms of tobacco are expected to be traded by the close of this year's market season.
And still on tobacco, the harsh weather being experienced in Mzuzu and parts of the northern region for over a month now has led to delays in opening of the Mzuzu auction floors. The Mzuzu tobacco market was supposed to open this week, but it has been shifted tentatively to Monday next week. Tobacco Commission Chief Executive Officer Dr. Joseph Chidanti Malunga says tobacco transportation greatly relies on favorable weather conditions, which is currently not the case in most parts of the northern region. Angela Nkandawire in Mzuzu.
Tobacco farmers in the northern region will have to wait a little longer before they can start getting earnings from their crop, as sales at the Mzuzu tobacco market have delayed. Mzuzu tobacco market was scheduled to open this Monday, 4th of May, but due to harsh weather conditions being experienced in some parts of the northern region, especially Mzuzu, the market will open on 10th May. For over a month now, Mzuzu has been experiencing persistent rainfall, which weather experts have attributed to convergence of north and southeasterly winds blowing over Lake Malawi from Tanzania. TC Chief Executive Officer Dr. Joseph Chidanti Malunga says weather plays a big role in transporting tobacco to the market, and such harsh weather conditions are not favorable for tobacco transportation.
Initially, we had scheduled the 4th of April today for the market to open. But I think that we are aware that it has been raining in Zuzu, and it's still raining as we speak in some parts. So we are monitoring the weather situation. So tentatively, we have put the 10th of April as the day for opening of the Zuzu market. Movement of tobacco is dependent on the weather situation.
Meanwhile, the Commission says it will continue to monitor the situation while tentatively pegging the opening date from Zuzu Tobacco Market on 10th May. Zuzu is the last tobacco market to be opened after President Dr. Lazarus Chakwera officially opened this year's tobacco marketing season on 20th April at Kanengo Floors in Lilongwe. Government, in agreement with tobacco buyers, pegged the minimum price for tobacco at about $2.30 per kilogram, but lately farmers have been complaining of low prices being offered by buyers, which they say are below the set minimum price. For Zodiac, this is Angela Mkandawiye.
Director of Fisheries in the Ministry of Natural Resources, Dr. Friday Njaya, has warned people along Lake Malawi to be alert following a phenomenon that caused water to turn into green over the weekend. Speaking to Zodiac, Dr. Njaya says although the lake is turning to normal, but the water is still itchy, which he says is dangerous. Joseph Maziz has filed this report.
Over the weekend, water in Lake Malawi in some parts of central and eastern regions suddenly turned green. According to members of the communities in these areas, they are still not comfortable using the water from the lake, even though it is getting back to normal, as this is strange. One of the residents, Joshua Gisambele, who had raised an alarm on the issue, says there's need to raise awareness to people using the lake of the phenomenon that would be dangerous to their health.
The water was okay, was clear in the morning, and then all of a sudden we noted that it became green, and it looked thick on the surface. And because for me it was the first time to see such a phenomenon, I was extremely worried. Initially, I thought it was an industrial waste into the lake, and because it stretched almost the entire beach, so I couldn't really put my head around it.
Meanwhile, Director of Fisheries, Dr. Friday Njaya, says this is not a new phenomenon, but appealed to people to be alert and warned against consuming dead fish that may be found floating on the lake as a result of the same.
What happens is that the greening is caused by a phytoplankton bloom of the cyanobacteria type, which is what we call it Kangona. It is toxic actually and very itchy. And when you swallow in large volumes, it cannot be good to human health. You may recall that I think for the past 2 weeks, and even now, although of course we have heard that the situation has normalized, we have had heavy winds for the past 2 to 3 weeks.
A similar incident is said to have happened in 2009, 2013 and 2019, and this is said to be a result of the southeasterlies that has hit the lake during the past 2 weeks. Reporting for Zodiac from Salima, I am Joseph Mazizi.
Let's now move on to sports. Nyasa Big Bullets Football Club have appointed former FAM General Secretary Suzu Nyirenda as the club's new Chief Executive Officer. He succeeds Escort Chinula, who has been serving in acting capacity from 2019, but returns to his designation at club sponsors Nyasa Manufacturing Limited. Club Vice President Fleetwood Haiya has confirmed the appointment, describing Nyirenda as a well-versed administrator who has the capabilities to strengthen and open more opportunities in the club's commercialization drive. Sam Banda has the details.
In a statement, Haiya says Nyirenda brings to Nyasa Big Bullets his expertise and competence in company organization with the vast experience he has acquired in recent years, having served in high offices during his tenure at Football Association of Malawi and Council of Southern African Football Associations COSAFA, where he had been as Deputy Chief Executive Officer and Competitions Manager until his new role. The Nyasa Big Bullets Vice President says the club is overwhelmed to engage an extra gear in its establishment as one of the continent's powerhouses and wants Nyirenda to steer the drive. Amongst his responsibilities, Nyirenda will be heading the secretariat and oversee the daily running of the operations of the club. He will be reporting to the club's board of directors. However, the duration of his contract remains unclear, but club authorities say the deal is permanent. Suzio Augustine Nyirenda becomes the third chief executive officer to head the reigning TNM Super League champions after Nyasa Manufacturing Company Limited's employees Fleetwood Haiya, who was the first between 2015 and 2018 before Escort Chinula took over the mantle in acting capacity when Haiya was appointed Nyasa Manufacturing Company Limited's managing director in 2019.
And that's about what we had time for in this news edition. Before we leave, another look at the headlines. Chilima Sugar Company sealed off after Indian expatriate diagnosed with COVID-19 dies. President Chakwera expected to open the 2021-2022 budget meeting of Parliament next week. Malawi realizes approximately 11 billion kwacha from 9 million kilograms of tobacco sold. In sports, Nyasa Big Bullets Football Club appoints former Farm General Secretary as club's new Chief Executive Officer. Visit our website www.zodiacmalawi.com for more news. My name is Chansimlo Zabanda. Thanks for watching.
Check in for the